Yeah, I already know why you're here. And yes, we are definitely going to talk about Mike Vrabel being fired from the Tennessee Titans on today. But you know what we got to do. Got to play the intro. Hey, what's up? It's your boy Bonafide, and this is Section 240, a channel all about the Tennessee Titans, but from a fan's perspective. Now, I know why you're here. Yes, we are about to talk about it. So today, midday, around about noonish, 11ish o'clock Central Standard Time. I'm in Orlando, so it's East Coast, but around midday, we got the report that Mike Vrabel had been fired by the Tennessee Titans. Oh, and also this is straight from the dome. I'm not even scripting this. I got my iPad here for some notes, but we just finna talk about this straight up. So yeah, we got the note from Adam Schefter, Jordan Schultz, whoever you were following at this particular time, about Mike Vrabel being fired as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. Now, don't get me wrong. This came to a shock for everybody because as of yesterday, and like I talked about it in my last video, nobody knew what was going on. So we didn't know if this was just going to be, maybe we were just having, a quail, things we're trying to get right. And, people were trying to get, the ducks in a row, whatever. In any case, so we didn't have any expectation. And Mike Vrabel being fired, and we'll talk about that portion right now. But Mike Vrabel being fired was probably low on the totem pole. Everybody, and including me, I think I even mentioned last video, thought that Mike Vrabel either would be retained or he'd be traded so he could get some assets and things like that. We'll talk about that in a minute. But like I said, midday, boom, comes in. Mike Vrabel is fired as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. Now, Miss Amy came out with a statement. She came out with a statement talking about how there was a shift in the football organizational thinking, how this was a decision that she made and that she wanted a fresh start, things like that. I'll put a link to the entire statement down there in the description. But basically, overall, she was just saying they wanted to change the thing. Now, what she did mention in there is that she mentioned that, a few things about, organizational shifts and being collaboration and collaborative. Those words keep coming up when she talks about this. But then she came and did a presser. Now, I know she works for the team. The team it's her team. So all the employees of the Tennessee Titans, including Mike Keith, the voice of the Titans, work for her. So yes, the presser that she had where she was talking more in depth about it was pre-planned. She was prepared. That's what you get. That's how it works. You only get spontaneous answers when you're unprepared. So she was prepared for this. But in her presser, what she said is that this wasn't like a last minute thing or a 1 month thing. She had been seeing the same thing that you and I, all those videos from the cheap seat, all the stuff we had been complaining about, she was looking at it too. She mentioned the fans. She mentioned that this wasn't a hasty thing. And she mentioned that she was appreciative of Mike, but the product on the field wasn't good. And we all know that. Let's not kid ourselves. The product on the field is trash. Okay? It was that plain and simple. You can put it on, I don't care if you're blaming it on John Robinson, I don't care if you're blaming it on injuries, talent, all this. The product on the field is trash. When you're responsible for a certain thing and that certain thing isn't good, things like this happen. All right? Now, so we get, obviously we're on social media, things like this. But like I said, it came to a shock to everybody. Now, so she came out with the presser and she said something. She did confirm that they did try to trade it, but this is something that she said. She said they were going to do a trade, but noticed that it would take too much time to get through all the loops. And Rand touched on that later in his presser that we'll talk about here in a second. But it would take too much time, and she didn't want to be at the back of the line. And she wanted to be move the team forward. So this is all in her statement and the one she did with Mike Keith and in the written one. So let's stop here for a second. This is freaking fantastic. If you can take your emotions out of this, and don't get me wrong, I am a fan. I'm a fanatic. I care too much about the Tennessee Titans, but I can remove and use common sense and remove my thoughts from this. She said that she saw the product on the field and that this wasn't good enough for her. She has high expectations for the team. That is the type of owner that you want. Whether you believe she's doing everything right or whether she's doing everything wrong, that is the type of owner that you want. Male, female, black, white, Chinese, it don't matter. That is the owner that you want. One that is not okay with mediocrity. Not okay with it. That is who you want. And that is what she is saying. Whether you believe her or not, that's what she put on paper. That is what she's standing by, and that is what she's saying. That's the messaging that she is delivering, that she is done with mediocrity. And you should be happy. I'm happy. Now, if you're not happy about it, I get it. That's on you. You're not me and I'm not you. But I believe that if you really care about the team, you should be happy about that. You have been sitting in your living room, just like me, sitting in your living room, yelling at the TV, wondering why we don't put our foot on the gas, why we can't, when we got a lead, why we don't try to keep scoring, or why do we sit on it? You've done it. Don't act like you haven't. And if you haven't, you need to kind of have a real conversation with yourself. That how we played conservative and how we didn't attack the field. That is on Mike Vrabel. That is on him. Yeah, I get it. I get it. There's a fierce loyalty to Mike Vrabel. I was one of those ones. I didn't even think he was going to get fired. I thought he was going to have another chance to do things like that. But it seems like some of the stuff that Jared Stillman was talking about yesterday was true. Mike probably went in there, made demands to Miss Amy, because Rand mentioned in his presser he wasn't involved in it, so he wasn't directly responsible for firing Mike Vrabel. And we'll get to this presser in a minute. But he probably went in there with demands to Miss Amy, and Miss Amy's like, "Hey, bro, you got double-digit losses in back-to-back seasons. Yeah, I get it. You're a good coach, but nobody really survives double-digit losses in back-to-back seasons. Heck, Frank Reich had a rookie quarterback and a team that was basically, we all knew weren't going to be contending because they had a rookie quarterback, and they fired him after 11 games. 11 games. They fired Josh McDaniels. They fired, so look, I get it. I get it. Mike was a good coach. And this is my explanation for Mike Vrabel. He reached his plateau with us. He walked into a good team because, remember, he took over from Mike Mularkey. He wasn't getting no bottom of the barrel, scraping by a team. He was getting a team that had been to the playoffs recently, and he made the changes that he needed to make. He put Tannehill as a starting quarterback. We rolled Derrick Henry to the playoffs multiple times, and Tannehill choked some things away. He still was loyal to him, still stuck beside him, still did what he needed to do. Todd Downing had a DUI, stuck beside him, didn't make any changes. It took Ryan Stonehouse getting hurt for him to even say, let's fire Craig Aukerman, who had been trashed the whole time he been here. So it's like, things like this begin to add up, and it starts to make sense. Now, if you go on social media today, and I'm just be frank with you, if you go on social media today, you would be under the impression that we just fired Bill Belichick or somebody that had, and we had just fired the Tennessee Titans Super Bowl winning coach. That ain't happening. And the amount of people defending or accepting this level of mediocrity is blowing my mind, y'all. It's blowing my mind. I get it. I don't know who the next coach is going to be. I have people that I would think I would like to have in here. Bob Johnson from the Lions comes to mind. Bobby Slowick from the Texans, they come to mind. Offensive head guy. But I don't know who this is going to be. So I'm not saying that person that's coming in is going to be better than Mike or take us to the promised land. But what you would never know if you stuck with Mike Vrabel and this mediocrity. Come on, man. You gotta. It's mind-boggling to me. I'm stumbling on my words because I cannot understand why someone would say, "Hey, this is what we need. We need to continue to hear it like this." Somebody put in my tweets that we waited 1 year. We went 1 year too fast. But then if we kept Mike Vrabel and then we wasted $75 million that we got in cap space and we still in the same spot, we still not competing in the division, we still losing to teams in there, but we 1-8 in the division since 2022. 1-8, 9 divisional games, and we won one of them. That's what we dealing with right here. So that ain't gonna get you to no Super Bowl. So now you're talking about you're talking about keeping a guy because one more year to see if he can actually get it done. When you can see the pattern. We came in, we were at the playoffs, and now we're moving backwards while everybody in our division is moving forward. That can't happen. And she saw that. Like, that's what you want your owner to do. You don't want your owner like Dan Snyder or just keeping the team just to do the team and running it any kind of way to go from there. Or like Mark Davis, hiring people because they sound good or so they look good, and then you got terrible product on the field. No, she's trying to win a championship. That's the owner that we got. We're trying to win a championship. And anybody telling you that she's okay with mediocrity is really got ulterior motives. And I'm just telling you that right now. Now back to Mike. Yeah. Mike was stubborn. And I think that's what cost him. I think he thought he a little bit too highly of himself. You seen the presses. You saw the press report, the presses with all of the media members. Sometimes he would just be in there being blunt. You can say it as blunt or you can say it as weird. But even Paul Kaharski mentioned that the new coach is going to be pleasant. And it wasn't that Mike wasn't pleasant. He was just blunt. Man, come on, say what you really mean, man. You didn't like talking to Mike Vrabel. You talked about it often, things like that. So it is what it is. He was stubborn. He thought he was the smartest guy in the room. And time again, that came back to backfire. The whole Bowen defensive coordinator bull crap that we had to deal with a couple of seasons ago, only to make Bowen the defensive coordinator. Like, come on, man. Like, these are things that y'all forgetting about that we have to deal with because at that particular point in time, we were winning games. But now we 13 and 21, and now we're not losing. Now all this stuff is amplified. Why would you want to stick with that? Now, so Vrabel probably did this on his own because this is the thing. If Vrabel said, hey, you know what? Like I said in the other video, Vrabel would have said, hey, you know what? Let me reorder this thing and probably just say, hey, my ego's a little bit too big. Let me humble it down a little bit. Let me see what we can do. Let's try to change this. Let me get on board. Because I really think that's what it is. Because the reports were coming out that Vrabel wanted to compete this year when Ram wanted to rebuild. And Ram probably acquiesced to Mike in the thing. We can already know that he acquiesced to Mike because they went and got D-Hop and all these players and tried to compete. But then when it fell flat on his face, it wasn't Ram's fault. Ram was just doing what Mike asked him to do. Obviously, he just got here, so he's just saying, hey, look, if this is what you need, this is what you want to do, let's do that. But I think we should do that. And he didn't go that way. And now Mike be trying to backtrack or complain or whine like a child. Like, this is the structure they got. Because you have to think about it. Miss Amy fired John Robinson, and Mike won. So Mike won. Now, Mike has the control and got a new GM or, got a GM that knows what he's doing. And he still didn't get the desired results that they were supposed to get. So miss me with all that. All right, miss me. It would be totally different if Mike Vrabel was getting fired after, we 10-5 this year, 10-5 last year. We keep getting bounced out the playoffs in the first round. Totally different scenario. But that ain't the case. We'd have missed the playoffs 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row. We lost 7 games in a row. I don't know of a coach that has had back-to-back double-digit losing seasons that is able to get. You probably can find something. You probably go on Pro Football Reference or whatever and find something like that. But yeah, and people keep bringing up, and I know it sounds like I'm rambling. I'm about to wrap this up because I can talk about this for days. But people keep bringing up this whole, Mike Vrabel, he was a coach of the year, and he's a keeper, and things like that. Man, bro. Okay, great. And then I saw Paul Kaharski tweet, and which is crazy to me. I saw Paul Kaharski tweet that I'm betting on Mike Vrabel elsewhere that he's gonna win. Really, really? That's how you feel. That's how you feel, and that's fine. You can feel like that. But me personally, I ain't betting on Mike Vrabel to do nothing because when Mike Vrabel doesn't have a premium roster that stays healthy and does everything, you don't do too good. And you know that because you're sitting here thinking about situations. What you talking about? What you talking about, Bonafide? Yeah. When he came to coach, he was, look, I mean, just take last year. Take last year. We won 7 games. Was up there. That's when Derek was healthy. That's when Tannehill was healthy. We had decent wide receivers. But as soon as pieces started falling apart, which probably is his fault too, because remember, he hired the new strength and training conditioning coach that we had here that couldn't seem to keep our players healthy. He hired them. We lose them 7 games. He can't get it back right. Then we start this year knowing what we got going on, and we still can't get it right. We didn't win back-to-back games all year. And another double-digit losing season. Come on, man. Let's get serious. The man got 2 playoff wins, and those both came in the same season. And that's the same season that we lost to That's the same season that we lost in the AFC Championship game. And that was back in 2019? 2019? That's what we did. And the rest of that, he wrote a historic season by Derrick Henry to the playoff. 2021, I think, is the last year that we really had a good year. And other than that, so you want to continue to stick around with that? Nah, man, miss me with that. It's too, and this is the thing, and people always talk about, it doesn't matter. Man, do you realize this? Watch this out the thing, that we haven't scored 30 points in a game in 2 calendar years. 2 calendar years. So I'm not even, you can say it's talent or whatever, but the talent that we had on last year that was able to win 7 games in a row, but we can't win. We couldn't beat the Jaguars in a win and get in game. That same talent roster that you had control over after those 7 games, staying right here. You losing games again. We back-to-back double-digit losses. 13-21, man, over 2 years, and you ain't scoring 30 points. I get if we losing high-scoring games where it's 38 to 27. We just, we miss out on that. And yeah, I get it. We had a lot of one-score games, but man, come on now. Not in this league. Mike Vrabel got beat by rookie head coaches multiple times today. He got swept by the Texans. Got swept by the Colts, running a backup quarterback and a backup running back on one of them games. Swept by both of them division rivals. Got beat by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah, we beat them. We beat the Jacksonville Jaguars this last game. Yeah, whoop-de-doo. I'm talking about you getting beat by rookie head coaches that ain't really got no experience. You a 6-year head coach of the year. Getting whooped by that. And y'all want to keep rocking with that? Nah, man. Let's get real. Let's be serious. If we want a chance to win the Super Bowl, the way Mike Vrabel coaches football was not gonna get us there. And we can, if you can be honest with yourself and say that, then it'll get going. The hurt will start to go away. The denial will start to go away. Now, Rand came out and had a presser, and we're gonna talk about this for a few minutes, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Rand came out and had a presser, and again, Nashville media is weird to me. Like all the beat reporters, even the people that have podcasts, is because they're like, oh yeah, Rand's presser did nothing for me, or he didn't say anything, things like that. I don't know. Like, did you expect Rand to come out and throw Miss Amy and or Mike Vrabel underneath the bus? No, that ain't happening. I don't know why we feel privileged that we should be getting these type of reports where we should get all the info and like, oh, what did he say? Was he mad at because you were now the GM, he didn't get his guy? They ain't gonna answer that. So I don't understand why people or fans or people think that they're gonna get that type of, like, did you want a WWE promo? I think I saw somebody tweet that. You want a WWE promo? You thought he was gonna come out with the mic and say, yeah, I'm Rand Carthon, and now this is my like, that ain't happening. He told you exactly what it is. That man probably already got a vision. They knew they were going to fight. Miss Amy even said it in her little, in her presser, that this wasn't a 1 month or a 1 day thing. She had been thinking about this for a while. So you get a guarantee that she was having private conversations with Rand Carthon about, hey, how will we move forward if Mike isn't the coach? Come on, man. Let's have some common sense here. Let's think about this. Yeah, if you're working in a position and you're not doing a good job, you think that the people that are employing you don't already have a plan on how they're gonna replace you? Come on, man. I work in that area. I work in that place. If I have an employee that ain't doing well and that employee is messing up, I'm already working on a plan to replace them before they get there. So you better believe Miss Amy, Rand, Brinker, all them people knew what they was doing. And Mike Vrabel probably knew it was coming too. Like, he knew that could he really withstand 2 losing seasons? No. So let's be real. So yeah, he does have a vision. They probably do have a vision of what they're looking for. They probably know who they want to hire. I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow we get reports from the doggone Ian Rappaport and all these different reporters that they've already requested to hire interview some of these people. And let me tell you something. This Tennessee Titan job ain't no slouch. You got a good defensive pieces, you got good offensive pieces, you got a potential franchise quarterback in Will Levis if he can be developed right. You got a owner that is willing to support you. You got $75 million plus in cap space, and you got a new stadium on the way. You can make your own way in a considerably weak division. I know nobody was exploding out of here from the team. We win a couple of those games. We were right in the division race, but we couldn't even beat the division opponents with rookie coaches that were running backup quarterbacks. Yeah, that Mike Vrabel. Yeah. Oh, the talent. Yeah, exactly. So get out of that. So you doggone right that they had a plan and they know what they're gonna do. So what I'm excited about is when I start hearing these names come out about offense. Let's wrap up the video on this. Let's wrap it up on this. I am looking for an offensive-minded head coach. So a Bobby Johnson, a Bobby Slowick, someone that is forward-thinking so they can move our team into the next echelon from there. We're going to have a good draft. We got that pick. I think we're at 7. So, yeah. And Rand talked about in his press about building the offensive line. So we know we're going to build from the trenches and get some weapons and free agents. So who knows what's going on? But I am excited that this is a shift. We are now going to be moving forward. We can probably, with the departure of Derrick Henry. Now, if Derrick Henry comes back, I don't think he really affects whether or not the team can be good or not, because Derrick Henry behind this terrible offensive line that couldn't protect the quarterback and couldn't run block still got 1,200 yards or over 1,000 yards rushing and double-digit touchdowns. So I don't even really think he's the problem, as much as everybody would like to say. But it don't matter if he's here or not. At least we're going to have a coach, and at least we're going to have an offensive staff that is going to be able to say, hey, you know what? Let's forward think. I would love to see some cheap motion on Sunday. I would love to see our cornerbacks play up and play man instead of playing 15 things out. Yeah, this is all things that we've been yelling to the screen over and over on Sunday that wasn't getting through to Mike Vrabel, wasn't getting through to Mike Mularkey. But now we might have a potential to see us move into where we're competing, where we're scoring points, where we got defenses that are not scared to blitz and take attack the football. And we got a defensive coordinator that's not putting Harold Landry in coverage on a running back and letting him do what he do best. And we're not sitting players down on the bench because they can't play wide receiver and punt returner and kickoff return. Yeah, all the stupid things that we've been complaining about, Mike Vrabel, we ain't got to worry about that no more. Hopefully. Put an asterisk on it. Because a new coach, Lisa, has some sense. So, that's enough of my rant. But if you made it this far, I'm glad you made it. Don't forget we're doing our 1K, Road to 1K giveaway. So if you subscribe to the channel, because we're going to be dropping content. Hey, we got plenty of stuff to talk about now. We're going to be dropping content. And if you're a subscriber, once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we're going to make sure that one lucky winner is going to get a Oilers throwback jersey. So make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And hey, the sun is going to rise tomorrow. And it's still going to be tighten up.